Josie, did you get a chance to listen to Soccer Stupid, the podcast? And if so, what did you think of it?
I want to be polite with you, and I prefer not to answer to the question because your question is really a bad question.
You're listening to the smooth sounds of Soccer Stupid, the soccer podcast with your hosts, Joao and Louie over there. How you doing? I feel like I never see you, but then I see you and we're on the pod. It's like, we never left each other, but now we're here. Dude, you're wearing your, is that a New Jersey? A New Jersey. Is that a
New Jersey?
Is that a new
It's a New York
Argentina jersey there? You're missing
This is my new Argentina. Well, it's funny. My story is funny because as you know, Joao, Argentina just won the World Cup a few months ago.
Spoiler
And you
alert.
know what that means? The world was rooting for them.
Yep.
So the world wanted their jersey, the new jersey with the 3 stars.
Yeah.
And guess who else wanted the jersey with 3 stars?
You. I think it's
Me.
you. Yeah.
Of course. So then, what was it? Sunday.
Sunday.
I kept looking. We went to a couple of soccer stores in the area, and none of them, they were all sold out or they didn't have it. So they told me, why don't you call some of the other soccer shops online?
Yeah.
So I called them, and none of these people had
Nobody
it.
had it. Huh?
So,
everybody ran out and bought their 3-star jersey. If you want, I got a couple of stars right here. I got some extra ones if you want.
you know what? Those are old. Those are like from the 1800s. I don't like 1800s. I like the modern stars.
Yeah.
Those are That's a pass.
Those were just listening in. I got my Brazil jersey with the 5 stars.
Hey, actually, did you get that? Oh yeah, you did. Because you wanted a 6 one,
right,
but you didn't get it. Yeah, you're right.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You know it.
So eventually, I had to settle myself with a 2-star, Joao, and I'm just gonna wait until I get my authentic 3-star Argentina jersey eventually.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my story, and so now I'm like,
and you're sticking to it,
showcasing my 2-star Argentina
you can
jersey.
draw it in. Have one of your kids draw the star and get a little gold Sharpie. That could work, right?
It'll probably be like a big star if it comes.
Yeah.
If my children do it, it'll be like the whole shirt will be a star. So
I can do a fake Messi signature if you want. Man, this is like such a special episode, right? We have our very own El Presidente himself visited the podcast. And when I say El Presidente, I mean Fernando Fiore. And if you don't know who that is, you shouldn't even be listening to this podcast.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Or continue to listen and learn. Fantastic personality, has been in the game for a while, has inspired us even to maybe even chat about it, right? I need to grow my mustache back in. I gotta grow it back in. I'm inspired to bring it back after meeting Fernando Fiore.
Well, he has a perfect one, right? He has a perfect mustache.
What are you trying to say? When I grow mine in, it's not perfect? Jeez, come on.
No, something to emulate.
But it was a surprise interview. He agreed to be on the pod. I don't know how we tricked him in doing it. And I thought it was an April Fool's joke that he said yes, but he showed up. We had a really nice, long conversation about his feels and his feelings about Argentina winning, which is why you bought the jersey, right? What it felt like to see Messi holding the trophy finally, his years of broadcast, what he's doing today with Miami FC, very exciting. And you know what? I think we should just go right into the interview. Enjoy. He is not a one-time Emmy-winning broadcaster. He is a 2-time Emmy-winning broadcaster. I think you said that you have been nominated at least 4 or 5 times. The author of the World Cup, the ultimate guide to the greatest sports spectacle in the world, which is true. And he works for the MLS franchise team Inter Miami, a.k.a. Beckham United, helping the city of Miami to boost its chances to be a host city of the 2026 World Cup. to be held in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Woohoo! We're going to the World Cup.
Yes.
We're going to the World Cup with 8 World Cups under his belt and the energy that never quits. He's with us today. El Presidente himself, Fernando Fiore. Yes.
All right.
Welcome.
He's left the pod already.
He's gone. Nice to meet you.
Oh, yes.
Pupuselas, yes.
How are you doing?
9 World Cups. 9 World Cups since 1990.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm going to tell you right now.
9 World Cups as a broadcaster.
Yeah.
The first one, 1990, we did it from the studio in New York. It wasn't yet, probably it wasn't so profitable for the networks, and they didn't spend a lot of money. They sent very little, number of people there to Italy, and then 94 it was in US, so I was able to go around the country, and then 98 they were sending more people, but I was the anchor, the main host, co-host in the studio. Yeah. And then from 2002, they start to send pretty much over 100 people to the place where it was the World Cup. So we went to Korea and Germany and South Africa and Brazil and Russia. Then I switched from Spanish to English in 2018. I went with Fox Sports.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
You made the show more colorful, I gotta say. Whenever we watch you, we miss that passion, right? Because Latinos,
I tell you the truth. Yes, I tell you the truth. I don't gonna hide it, and I'm not gonna lie. I miss the 2022 with Fox. They went back to pretty much all English speaking nature.
Yes. Yeah.
American football, ex-football players.
Yeah.
They reversed. Yeah, they reversed the strategy that what we do in 2017. Actually, when we started in 16 with Copa America Centenario, and then 17 with the Confederations Cup, and 18 when they brought me there, the strategy was to bring a little more diversify opinions and not only ex players, and that's why it was interesting for me to switch from Spanish to English, but then they reversed and they went back to pretty much 100% ex players, and I can't tell you much because I was covering the whole World Cup in Qatar with beIN Sports in English and Spanish, but I didn't see the World Cup from home on TV. But for what I gathered from all my friends and some things that I recorded, they went back to all ex-players, and which is fine. The strategy of a network, it's they are different.
I can tell you that you were missed. Louis and I. Oh my God, no! Louis and I, when we would watch World Cup, we'd watch World Cup tonight. You were always our favorites. We would even talk about that. We would talk about that, and I would record it every night. I watched it every single night, and this year I was excited to see you there. And I was a little disappointed. And I've been following you ever since, because you literally have the same passion that we have, and a lot of folks who are actually into this sport, right? And I think that you match the passion, right?
Thank you very much. No, I'd
like to see more of you.
Like I said, it was just different strategies. I thought that we for when they went to pick me up and bring me to the other side, to the English side, is because they wanted to have an opinion of a guy who's not an ex-player, but who's been living with the sport all his life, and it was the opinion of a fan. And bring the voice of a fan more than the voice of only ex-players, and it's a completely different, point of view, because to tell you the truth, and that's what I said to my bosses back in Fox in 2016, 17. Not every single person that's watching the World Cup is so notable to know exactly all the tactics, and if they're playing 4-4-2 on. Or 4-3-3, or a lot of people just watch the games to enjoy. and you have to get a balance, between the analysis and between the passion and the craziness and the different opinion. And I miss that. I miss to that one. And bueno, and thank you for your comments. I'm glad that not only you but many people tell me that that I was missed during that. I have the greatest time. I have a completely different approach to the World Cup in Qatar because with Fox and before also with Univision, I usually was hosting something and I was in studio pretty much. So very limited time to see games. This particular World Cup, because I did a completely 180 and I worked with Bein Sports in a completely different setup. We didn't have the studio because we didn't have the rights for the US.
Right.
Bein Sports had all the rights for Middle East and Africa, but we didn't have the rights for the US. So my duty was to be on the stadiums, being with the fans, bring the craziness of the fans. So I was able to go to 40 games out of the 64. So
that's something.
It was like a 62% of the games that I was able to go and see them, talk to the fans. My responsibilities were mainly to get the reactions after the games. So I did 40 of those, and then I did like another 30 stories about Qatar and people and food and the desert and Spanish people that they were living there. So it was for me personally, it was absolutely fantastic. But I don't want to lie, I was kind of surprised that the strategy at Fox reversed, or went back, and what we're telling me back then when say, oh no, we want your opinion, we want a different, Spanish guy with heavy accent that he got, that he's got another point of view. It was a great time. Believe me, I had a great time. The 7 World Cups in Univision, I had the greatest time, and being so thankful to Fox and Univision for those 8 World Cups, and the same thing with Bein Sports in my 9th one.
It's an amazing career. Louis, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say,
By the way, Louis, you're not showing off your.
Well, I only have 2 stars. I cannot find the 3-star Argentina jersey. By the way, it's sold out everywhere. I called so many places last night yesterday, and no one found.
You're gonna have to draw. You're gonna have to draw it in.
So I'm gonna have to draw one on top of here.
I'll give you
right on top of it.
Do you need another star? I got some extra.
No, I don't like those stars.
I got some extra stars.
Not my type. Yeah, not my type of stars. No, but I was gonna say, growing up, I remember we had the option to watch the World Cup in English.
Yeah.
But I always preferred to do it in Spanish, just because of how the way we talk, the way, like, the passion of it. So when you came to Fox, we were like, oh, there's a little bit of what I'm used to earlier. So now I can watch it as well. Yeah, I started watching Fox, and then, like, I was shocked. I was like, where is Fernando Fiore this year? Like, I mean, we're talking about the last World Cup.
I'm with you. I'm exactly with you. I'm exactly in the same position. Like I told you, I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was just like that. I couldn't add much. They never. I tried to get the exact explanation, but it was.
But there were some lucky.
It's a 35-year-long career, so sometimes the things go your way. Sometimes the thing goes a different way. Yeah. Sometimes they change their minds it's the way it is.
They should have gotten remember your yellow cards you were giving out, that one.
A lot of things that I brought into Fox and the mask and telling, for example, Alexi Lalas, that I was thinking completely different, that and not going with establishment somehow, because I didn't think that USA will beat Argentina in a Copa America Centenario, and everybody was, getting their opinion that the US will beat Argentina, and I thought that it was different. I thought that was interesting. That was interesting because, like I said, it was a completely, it was a completely different opinion, and I thought it was valuable, and I thought that the people like it. So it was
Now, there's some lucky. Those are some lucky fans who were able to see you at the games and get to hear your commentary. That's awesome. That's awesome. So
I appreciate it.
So when you were at and this was something that we really wanted to hear from you. That how did you feel? Give us the feels. Tell us from your heart how it felt when, spoiler alert, Argentina, for those who still haven't on their DVR and they haven't watched yet. How did you feel when they won? When Messi was holding that trophy? What were you doing? How were you feeling?
I don't think I tell this many times since December 18. The people that were with me, they know it, but how can I put it? I didn't enjoy the World Cup until Messi lift the trophy. I cannot start to celebrate game by game because I didn't know what was going to happen the next game. It might sound strange, but the thing is that, remember, I've been following the Argentina national team and soccer in general, and I've been in every single final that we lost. You know the famous song of Muchachos when they said, "Todas las finales que perdimos, cuántos años la lloré." I cried for so long, for so many years. I cried in every single one because I've been in the business for so long. So I saw all the finals that we lost. So I was a little skeptical until the moment that we leave the trophy, and I still sometimes I think that Dibu will not stop the last kick from the 120 something minute, and we will lose. So I'm still have some kind of strange feelings because so coming back to your question, when we beat Mexico, it was a big relief because I said otherwise we couldn't get out of the World Cup right there.
That's right.
Then when we beat Poland, and I said, well, okay, now we're going to the next round. Then we beat, but it wasn't like I was really happy and enjoying and getting crazy. It was like, okay, the game is over.
Yeah.
And now let's wait until the next game, and do my other stuff because I was working, pretty much every single day, so many hours. So I was concentrating. The people, oh, what do you think next game? I said, I don't want to think about it. I don't know. I know now we're gonna play. Yeah, now we're gonna play Australia. Now we're gonna play Netherlands. Now we're gonna play Croatia. Now we're gonna play France. But I don't want to think about it. I don't want to know much about it except for what I was working, and then just pray. And during the games, I was so nervous that I cry so many times. Usually I don't scream our goals because I don't know what's going to happen next minute.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. It's now that I think about it, I think about it, very often. But now that we talk about it, it was tough. It was tough because it was a whole month of so much nervousness. And I don't know if I'm gonna get a heart attack, and it shouldn't be like this. I'm a 62-year-old guy. This is just football, but it's not. For me,
I say it's the most important thing and the most least important thing in the world, right?
Yeah,
you don't want to see me every. That's a true fan. Like every Brazil game that I watch, you don't want to be around me.
Exactly the same thing with me. I very much into myself. I don't stop moving my leg the whole game for the 90 minutes. In this particular World Cup, like I said, it was much worse than any other World Cup because this one I see every game of Argentina on the stadium. Before I was watching, before I usually was watching on the studio, ready to anchor, the halftime or the post game. So I was around a lot of people talking, a lot of people commenting. This time I was going and the stadium by myself, or with just one person or two persons that I know, and I put my hoodie on because it was cold in the stadiums, and I was put my hoodie on and try to to don't die on the mission. And so finally, when I cried like a kid for so long, I was with
you and Louis.
I was with a friend of mine. I was with a friend of mine, and he hugged me. He's a young guy, and he hugged me and the people thought I was crazy around me, but it was absolutely joy. And every time I said, well, that's it, man. Now I'm safe.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't need to suffer anymore.
Not until for 4
until
years.
the next game, until
yeah.
the next game, until the next game, and you want to win again. But it's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, and it's here. I can't believe it's here. We're gonna be
Right.
we're all going to the World Cup in 4 years. We're all going.
Yes,
to the World Cup.
3.5.
Yeah,
3
maybe
years.
maybe we'll see you there with your hoodie, and everything. Maybe we'll
Yeah,
enjoy the game together.
I definitely. I will have to try. I will have to do the same things that I did in this past World Cup. So I'm gonna use the same kind of my same brown pants and the same hoodie from Panini, and and I will try to be calm, which probably won't happen.
Yeah.
Fernando, so my question for you is, because most of the stadium had the Argentinian fans were amazing. I mean, they overpower any other nation. So how was the atmosphere when you were walking and you could just hear las canciones, todos los alabados que hacían? How did you? Because the goosebumps all over you when you just enter that stadium and just feel that power and energy.
Yeah, definitely. The first 2 games, I was trying to send some reports of of before the game. I did that with Saudi Arabia for being sports, so I was sending all the fans coming into the stadium. But then because we lost that first game, then I changed all my Kabbalahs and said now I know how to talk to the people before the games. I will wait till after the games. So I was pretty much going into the stadiums as a regular fan with my credential, going to the press area and so on. But I was going to the stands first and hang around for a while to try to, inhale all that atmosphere because, it would be, it would be something very special to get this World Cup and hopefully, hoping that we were going to win it. And so I enjoyed a lot those moments before the games, like I said, but I was very nervous. And then once the game was over, I have to send my report to being sports right immediately after the game because it was for the show that they were recording here right after the games on Easter time. So right after the games, I was going out and get with all the fans and having a great time and sing together and find a lot of friends that I didn't know that they were there. It was magical, man. It was magical. I will never forget Qatar, Doha, the atmosphere, the finally winning. Like I say, I suffered a lot through the years. 2004 final with Brazil in Copa America. 2007 Venezuela final with Brazil in Copa America. 2005 Confederations Cup with Brazil in Frankfurt. 2014 the final with Germany in Maracanã. 2016 with Chile Copa America final. So
twice.
Those are the ones I never forget.
To tell you the truth, I suffered all the way, except the last one in the U.S., the Copa America Centenario. I didn't go to the stadium. Fox didn't let me go. They want me to stay in the studio. So, all the other ones, I saw them live right there at the stadium. So I was heartbroken, every single one. And then I thought, maybe it's me. Yeah, I said, maybe it's me. So but then,
well, I thought it was me.
That I didn't go.
Yeah, he thought it. Louis thought it was him.
I didn't go to the one in New York. I didn't go, and I said, "Wow, if we won this one, definitely was me, and I would never be able to go to another final." But it wasn't me because unfortunately we lost again in penalties in that 2016 in New York, New Jersey, and then I said, "Well, it wasn't me." And then finally, when we beat Brazil at Maracanã, because COVID, I couldn't go, I couldn't make it in person, but I enjoyed so much watching on TV, and definitely this one was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
No, Fernando, the thing about this is how I feel about the whole Argentina national team. The team equals Messi, right? And Messi, we all, like all his fans, we all feel like he earned it. He earned to win one of those big, tournaments for Argentina. So every time he would go into a tournament, everybody's like, behind him. But like at the end, he always felt short, and it was so horrible. It was a horrible feeling, a very empty feeling. Me and Joao, we used to go to this bar, and he will come out smiling because I will be crying. He'll be smiling because, of course, he's Brazil. And but like
I'm terrible.
when when he won the World Cup, like you're right. I had these emotions all bottled. And once he like raised the the cup or the trophy, I break down like a baby. I was crying like a baby. And, I'm not from Argentina, but I followed Argentina for many years. And yet like the passion and to finally for him
and
to
Louis
have
has a lot of,
lifted
he has
that
a lot of
trophy was
machismo. He has a lot of machismo. So if he's
a lot of
crying,
machismo.
it means
No,
something.
I cry like a kid, man. To tell you the truth, of course I recognize Messi as as an amazing and valuable player and one that he makes a big difference for the team. But you have to be realistic. With him, also we lost so many finals. So everybody was every Argentinian was rooting for Messi, but also I was rooting for every single player on the team.
Yeah,
I think that everybody is incredibly valuable, and they're all put their little grain of sand to help to make it this possible. And Messi is out of his word. He's a player that sometimes to deserve something in football or any any way of life is difficult. Sometimes you are the best at a lot of things and you never get the trophy in your hands. And I'm much older than you guys, but I remember players like Johan Cruyff, that I when I was a young kid and I saw him play and he was amazing also, and 1974, and then he didn't win at the end, and then 1978 he didn't go to Argentina, and Holland again fell short, and then Holland again falling short against Spain in 2010. So sometimes as a country or as a specific player you deserve to win at one point and you don't do it. Very lucky that Argentina won the Copa America. Well, lucky and a lot of talent, but it was good that we won Copa America in Brazil and the World Cup, because otherwise 36 years of what are the odds that every time you go to the final you lose? I mean, usually
it's horrible.
If you go to Vegas, it's not as bad as that. I mean, that you every time you go to a final, you lose the final. Every time I was thinking, I said, "Gee, at least let's win one, man. Let's get 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5." But no, it was all for 3, all for 4, all for 5.
No, the odds were on your side.
Say,
it was a Cinderella story.
When is gonna be? Yeah.
Right.
It
was the Hollywood ending. It was the Hollywood
ending. It's almost
like it had to happen that way.
Once you open that door, then it's easier, right? Like, it was hard for them to win the championship. And then all of a sudden, the Copa America. And then all of a sudden, la Finalísima. I forgot what it's called right now. La Finalísima. And
yes.
The World Cup. I feel like once the door got open for them, they just, the confidence, they feel more confident. They feel more assured of themselves. And so they had this, swagger about them. And I think that helps, right? Like, it builds up until, they climax it to the World Cup.
Yeah. So here's the big question, Fernando. Speaking of Messi, so during the World Cup we were watching, they did this big thing on him potentially going over to Miami in MLS. Do you as an insider, as an insider, what are your thoughts? And do you see that happening?
Yeah.
And how happy would you be from a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, no.
I feel like I need to be wearing this. Here, hold on. I mean, I feel better now. I feel like I'm part of the.
You feel at home.
There we go. Yeah, there you go.
I can do that.
Here, let me put it on. There we go. Okay, get this. No, I forgot.
There you go.
There we go. And I forgot. Hold on. I forgot my. There we go. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, it fell.
Frank mustache.
My mustache ran away. Yeah, tell us.
Yeah,
could that happen?
It certainly can. Now it seems like it's not going to be soon. It's not going to be this coming June. I doubt it. I hope it will happen. It will have to take something huge from MLS, like the rumors of every single team, every single owner, chip in for the greatness of the league, not for one team only.
Right.
You know, when Beckham came over to the MLS, yes, he was big, but he didn't win a World Cup. He didn't, it was a very talented player, in a pool of talented players over there on the top.
Right.
But he wasn't the player of the world, of history of the world of soccer. So I hate to compare one to another, but at that time, I was very much involved in as an insider because I was there working a lot with the MLS, and it was an incredible deal with him to get him a potential team in the future when he retires, plus all the money from the sponsor, plus all the perks at LA, plus going to live in LA, which is with all the glamour of his family, his wife in a rock group, and him with all the sponsors and so on. So it was absolutely wonderful for the league and for David Beckham to go to one specific team. Now with Messi, I don't think that one team can pull this off. I think that it have to be the league.
Not an MLS.
The league. They said, you know what? We want Messi to be the one in the MLS. We all put together our resources, as a league, because the league is also very unique. They're all owners that they have an umbrella, and they all allocate the players in the beginning, and it's kind of a unique league. One of the few in the world with no relegation, when the style of sports in the US, where when you invest your money and you are sure that your team will stay on the top flight forever. So it's a different structure.
Right.
So a different structure will be able to bring Messi to the MLS in somehow a kind of a structure for the whole league, and he will be assigned to one team. Saying that, I don't know that they can pull it off right now for this market. I hope I'm wrong. One thing I say for sure, that I say that Messi, and I think it will happen, that Messi will be playing the MLS by the time the next World Cup arrives. Wow. Because if he's here a couple of years before the World Cup, he will be around 37, 38, but then he will be playing less games.
Right.
He might be able to stretch his career a little longer. He will not have the pressure of playing in the top team in Europe, where you have to play the champions and on the league and so on. And here, and that you have to perform and be champions. Here is going to be a little bit more relaxed, because let's be honest, it's not the same pressure. Of Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Manchester City.
That pressure has got to be completely off your shoulders. I was going to ask you if you felt like he really still has that pressure. Yeah.
Or Houston or Dallas or even Miami. Unfortunately we are losing one game after the other, and it's pressure, but it's a different type of pressure, and we only play one game a week, and so I'm pretty sure, and that was before Messi was a world champion. I said Messi will play now, and also in terms of economics for him, it will be magical to be for his bank account, which it probably doesn't need anymore, but usually you want more and more. But it will do magic. It will do magic in terms of sponsors and so on. If you are playing another World Cup in U.S., Mexico, and Canada, but where all the big brands are here, and if you are playing in the league, and you will have tons and tons and tons of sponsorships available to pick and choose. So I think that Messi will be playing in the MLS by the time the next World Cup arrives. I would say at least a year and a half before that, or two. But that's again, I'm not Nostradamus. This is just my feeling.
So he stays in Europe for the next 4 years, comes to MLS. What are your thoughts on MLS and where it's going? I mean, do you see MLS becoming the biggest league in the world at some point? How many years? How many years are we away?
I don't think in my lifetime, no.
Yeah.
I don't think in my lifetime, no. But I have to tell you, I'm a supporter of the MLS from day one in 1996. I've been supporting the league when many people, didn't give a damn about the league, or actually they were just haters that they hate everything. And I respect every opinion, but back in 1996. A lot of colleagues, didn't like the MLS, and a lot of critics and the people, also the fans, they were criticizing a lot. They didn't like the clock going backwards. They didn't like the shootouts. They didn't like the stadiums being, stadiums painted with the yellow lines of American football. They didn't like the players. They didn't like the refs. They didn't like the structure. They didn't like the playoffs. They didn't like anything. Which, I will say that I agree in many of those things, but there were so many, criticism about everything that I said someone have to support this, because for me as a young guy, when I came to US from Argentina, I suffered a lot when the NASL disappeared. For me, it was absolutely, unimaginable that you were coming from a country like Argentina with a tradition of football, and you came to US. And I have the Cosmos that they were playing very close to my home, and I see it in 1980, 81, 82. And then the whole league disappeared. So we have no professional league. I couldn't go to see a football match. So I was devastated as a fan. So fast forward from 1982 to 1996. And if everybody complains about what we have in the MLS at that time, and that one will fold again, certainly it was a difficult times when they in 2001 when they shrank to only 10 teams. And, someone has to step up and try to look the positive way. Listen, guys, it's MLS year one. Let's give him a chance. I know some things are crazy. The clocks usually don't go backwards, in football. Usually you don't have a shootout running from 25 yards or whatever it was. Yes, the stadiums are bad and the fields are painted with yellow lines, in the 40-yard, in the 50-yard. But give him a time. Give him a time. Yes, criticize, but trying to make it better. Don't criticize to make it to the point that, everybody's against, football and we don't have it. So that was my point of view. I was trying to look positive. I was trying to support. I was trying to give my words to try to, to get the league better for whatever my opinion was worth it. I think that we still have a lot of improvement to do. I don't like, for example, the schedule that you don't play 1 week home, 1 week away. Sometimes for the fans, it's difficult now that you play 2-3 games out, then you come back for one game, then you still don't see the game again but I'm not going every day trying to criticize that. I say, well, maybe someday we will have more standard schedule that the people will know that is 1 way home, 1 way away, like pretty much in every single league in the world. And it will create a better fandom. But, at the end of the day, I love the MLS from day one. I'm still supporting it. I'm working like crazy for the MLS to get bigger and bigger. It's amazing how they went from 1996, and then in 2001 with 10 teams to now closing to 30 teams. It's amazing that a franchise back then
every year is a new franchise.
And now it's $150, $200 million. It's amazing that back then we were playing in high school stadiums like the Fusion did, or in NFL stadiums or Rose Bowl that you hardly get 10,000 people out of 100,000 seats, and now you have all specific stadiums, wonderful facilities, great training sites. A lot of stars came over, So it's an improvement over the almost 30 years of the history of the MLS.
It's wonderful.
I feel like I'm part of this. I feel like I'm part of this. I feel like I'm part of this success because I always support it. I always trying to make it better and bigger. And I'm glad.
We thank you for being an ambassador of the sport. And when LAFC came about, we were, there was LA Galaxy, which is in Carson. We're in Burbank, LA area. But when they announced an LAFC team, Louis and I signed up right away. before there was a team color, before there was a player, before the stadium was even built. You and I, right,
Of
Louis?
course.
You and I went to the building. At some point, all the fans and the supporters can go see the stadium before it was built.
construction.
Before the grass was laid, we were there.
Yeah.
It's very exciting to have a team in your own
Of course.
hometown. I call MLS. Obviously, it's not there yet with the European clubs. Well, we watch a lot of.
They have 100-year tradition, man. They have
Yeah,
100 years.
exactly. We call it accessible football, right? So we get
my team.
go.
My team from Argentina is River Plate. It's over 110 years old. So, so you have to get that one, and you appreciate that now. My team now, I suffer a lot. Again, can you imagine? I suffered back when I was 22, 23 when they closed the old NASL, and then I suffer again losing my team with the Fusion when in 2001 we start to play in 98. 2001 we folded again. And I said, how can I again? It happens to me that my team, I was crazy about the Fusion.
Yeah,
crazy. And I said, and the first two seasons, the first season and a half, we were amazingly bad, and we were losing every game. But it was my team. I didn't care. I drove an hour to go see them, an hour to come back to Fort Lauderdale and back to my home, and and then they folded. And I said, "Oh my God, I'm losing again." I had to wait from 2001 all the way to 20 years almost to get another team, and now, so. It's strange, man. It's strange. It's a strange feeling, and I
don't think Miami FC is going anywhere. They're not going anywhere now that you got Beckham.
No, the Inter Miami is not going. The Miami FC hopefully is not going anywhere neither, and hopefully we have a team in the MLS. We have a team in the in the USL, and hopefully they will stay forever. And obviously, I would like my team to do better. Our story is not the story of the LAFC. It's not the story of Atlanta United. It's not a story of even now St. Louis that they're making strides in the very beginning of the franchise. But I have hope. I hope that that we're gonna get better. We're gonna get better players. Someday soon we're gonna have an MLS Cup. Who knows, man? I'm there. I'm there every game. I'm there every game.
That's amazing. That's us too. And if you ever come to LA, we have seats, okay, and you can always join us.
I will go with you guys. I've been there several times. I was invited once to do the color commentator with Max Bretos I think it was the second season.
Yeah.
The first or second season, I did one game. Then I went to watch. Another times I went to watch some games. I went to the MLS All Star that it was playing there at the stadium in LA.
Yeah.
So I love the atmosphere. I love the stadium right there in downtown. Everything. It's really nice. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, the atmosphere there it's wonderful. I think not to go on and on about LAFC, but we talk about the 32-52 and the supporting.
Yeah, the 32-52.
It's the heartbeat. It's the heartbeat of the stadium, and everybody. You can really feel it. I love going down there. We talk about that all the time. How you have a buzz for like a couple of days just from being around everybody who is just there to enjoy the game. It's a lot of fun.
Same thing with our fans here, with our Inter Miami fans. They're there. Man, they're supporting. It's a lot of big Spanish community that supports. I would say, I don't know. I don't want to make numbers that I don't have statistics, but I would say that 80% of or 90% of our fans, they speak Spanish.
Yeah.
They sing all the Argentinian songs translated. A couple of them, I taught them when we have the first game, I give them a couple of songs from the Argentinian from River Plate that I sang all my life, and so for them to learn and I think it's a wonderful atmosphere too, and our fans are loyal, are crazy. We support the team. Hopefully, we're gonna get better results soon.
Yeah. I hope one day we go head to head too, and we
You're ahead, man. You're ahead. You already have.
We're gonna politely cheer on our teams. Louis, you had a question. You're about to say something.
No, I was going to say,
you had it on your face.
Yeah, the LAFC fandom. I feel like it's a lot of young people which also helps. I feel like talking about a couple of years back, the older generation, they were the ones coming from different Latin American countries that will go to the games. But I feel like all of a sudden now you see more younger people, and the passion, you're starting to see more. Yeah. So it just little by little is growing, and it's getting more popular. I mean, I have two boys, and I have one of them I have both of them in soccer academies, but one of them enjoys it. He loves the game, and I'm like, this is what needs to be done. Like, we need to create more and have these kids exposed to the sport, because I mean, this is the best sport in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's like in the US, it's not as popular yet, but you can't stop the rain, right? Like, eventually it's gonna be as popular as the NBA, NFL, and all the other sports.
We're getting there. We're getting there. It takes time, like I said. It's a sport. It's a sport with a lot of history in the US. Remember, when we as a US, we play in the original World Cup. We make an amazing, miracle in 1950 when we beat England. We have a history of football in the US for many years, but obviously, it's not a sport that it was invented here like the American football or the basketball and or the baseball. Yep. So it's a different story. It's a different story, and like I say, unfortunately, I went through the folding of the original NASL, which everybody thought that it would be an amazing league with Pelé and Beckenbauer and Carlos Alberto and a lot of great stars that I was able to see, to be there at the stadiums. But unfortunately, the money wasn't enough, the TV coverage wasn't enough, and and the whole thing crumbled down. But we couldn't have a league, for so many years if they weren't folded back in 1982, 83. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of years until the MLS came back in 1996. But I think that eventually, we are catching up. Definitely, I mean, there are statistics. We are catching up in terms of people attending the stadiums, in fans around the country, in kids playing more and more, in the academies, in the system that the MLS is having now with the academy, with the next generation, with so many players coming from within, not only, counting on bringing, all stars or very young players from abroad, but to have our own system, and you have to be thankful for that. It's going great in that aspect. When they finished the Generation Adidas Cup, and it was won by two MLS academies, the under 15 and under 17, and they were teams coming from Europe and from South America, and our kids here, they beat them, and they got the championship. Of course, they were playing here in local time, in a local soil and so on. But it was unthinkable that the Austin Academy might become champion of under 15. When there are teams coming from England, from Spain, with kids that we know that the passion in Europe and the kids are and so high. So we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, I can tell you this. One of my other passions is baseball, and one of the things that I'm doing is I'm visiting all 30 stadiums. So I fly around and I go incognito. So I'll wear like the team colors, right? But I can tell you this though, when you go to the stadium, there's not a lot of people in the stadium. Baseball is absolutely not, and a lot of people are going to listen to this and maybe not agree with me. I don't think baseball is up there with.
They're changing the rules. They're changing the rules now.
That's happening too.
To make it a little more interesting.
Yeah.
I enjoy a lot. I like baseball a lot.
Yeah.
But I enjoy a lot the World Championship now. The Classic.
Yeah.
I went to every single game here in Miami. It was full. It was crazy because they're national teams.
Yeah.
They're national teams. They
Japan loves their baseball.
I love that. And I love that. And I went to see every game here. I went to the final. It was a fantastic game with Japan beating US.
Yep.
And I saw all the craziness also of the Caribbean teams. I saw Puerto Rico, and I saw so that one I love. But that's national teams.
Yeah.
That's something that is short and sweet.
Yep.
And and very much a lot of passion and the pride of the team from the national team, which it doesn't translate exactly the same way when you have to play 162 games in a season, playing every other day. Like you said, the stadiums are pretty much empty.
It's true. It's true.
Sometimes your team is fighting to the end, but sometimes by July your team is completely out of the race, and you just go for the beer and the hot dog, and because the tickets are cheap. It's also and I like baseball. Like I said, I like baseball, but maybe like I said, they're changing some rules. They're trying to speed up the game. 4 hours, 162. For me, I'm not a traditionalist. They're gonna, all the baseball lovers will think I'm crazy, but I will go more often if it will be one game a week. And go to see the Marlins here. If it was 1 or 2 games a week, maybe, and that's it. But if you play every other day,
that's too much.
And you know why? Because they have to adapt, because it's not the same baseball as it when in 1900, when you don't have other sports, when you don't have TV, when you don't have cellular phone.
There's a lot of competing factors.
You can spend 4 hours. Life was completely different in 1900. And then in the 1900s you can go and watch the baseball, and it was a completely different, life.
Well,
now to try to make or think that a lot of fans will go and spend every other day 4 or 5 or 6 hours between you go to the stadium, watch the game 4 hours, come back to your house. It's 6 hours every other day. You have to adapt.
I think MLS at 17 home games. That's doable. That's doable.
That's it.
That's
doable. That's doable.
And also, baseball is more of it's a reflection sport. So you go there, it's like 4 hours, 4.5 hours. You're hanging out, you're talking to your friend. Something happens.
It's a different thing.
Where football, again, it's 45 minutes of straight play. And there's times where Louis and I are watching the game, we didn't talk to each other for like 25 minutes because you're sitting there. Really focusing on the gameplay in front of you. So
it's a different thing, and even the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, was trying to make us believe that they have to speed up the game, and because the younger generations don't pay attention to one full 90-minute game, because life changes so fast, and especially with all the technology that is being created for the last 20 years. That the sports also change, and the sports and the fan attention of the fans are completely different now than they were 40 years ago.
I think games are too short. You'll be watching, you'll be in the game, and all of a sudden it's like 35 minutes in. You're like, how did that happen? How did that happen? So before I think we're getting close to the end of the pod here, but one of the things I want to ask, you are probably, and this is why we're drawn to Fernando, that you have so much enthusiasm, so much passion for the sport, and you've been doing this for some time now. Like, how do you keep
35 years?
35 years. How do you keep the energy going? Like, I'm already like tired just every day. I walked my dog. I watched one English Premier game, and I walked my dog, and I'm ready for a nap. Like, how do you keep the energy up? What keeps you going?
Well, it's I think when you're living the dream, your whole life, you have to appreciate. You have to thank God. You have to thank the fans. You have to thank the people that are supporting you, the companies that are supporting me. Through the years, and you keep with passion, with energy. I sometimes, to tell you the truth, sometimes I'm talking to my friends that they know me from many years on TV, and they look at me sometimes when I say something or when I think something, now for the social media. My work as an influencer now. Now I'm an influencer after 35 years. They offer me contracts as an influencer, and my friends look at me and says, "Wow, Fernando, you're still creative. You still have it on you. You come up with with so many things. Your mind is always fresh." I said, well, that's probably what it keeps me going. I'm 62 now, and a half. Actually, I'm 62, almost 63, and I'm still playing soccer every Saturday with my friends, and I'm still, thinking about new things to do and adapt to the new times, and the new generations and the social media thing and how different is now TV and the way we communicate, as opposed of what happened when I started on TV in 1988, where the people, when the people were waiting for my show weekly and they were desperate to see our show because it was a good show. For example, back when we were doing Lente Loco, the Candid Camera show in Univision, or Fuera de Serie with Sofia, the traveling show, that it was coming once a week and it was only for 30 minutes, minus commercials, 22 minutes, and the people were desperately waiting to make it to the Thursday, and that was a completely different, different life on the communication business. Now everything is at the moment. Now everything is in right there. Now they asking me to be an influencer and communicate my thoughts in between 15 and 30 seconds. And so it's a different world, and I'm glad I'm living it. Also, I'm adapting. It's a different thing, but that keeps me also sharp. I'm telling you, it's much difficult and different when they used to do before my era, before the 1980s, or when they started on TV in 1960s, 70s. Sometimes you have TV shows that, because I research a lot and I study a lot of the TV around the world and so on, and you have some shows that you couldn't talk and express your ideas for minutes and minutes and minutes, and it was perfectly fine. And then when you get to the 90s, like when I started, end of the 80s and the 90s, everything, hey, you have to be short, you have to be, control yourself, you have 2 minutes. I say, okay, in 2 minutes I can do it. And now in the 2020s, they tell me, oh, you have to get your thoughts in 15 seconds, and because that's the span of the people that are watching you. So everything is changing, and you have to adapt, and I am adapting very well, I think, and that's why my mind is getting working creatively and is sharp every time. So that probably answered your question. I have to be on my toes. I have to be on my toes because I love this. I love to do this.
We can tell. And we can absolutely tell, and you're doing a great job. I mean, you're influencing us. I mean, here we are. We've been watching you on TV for many years and enjoyed many World Cups with you. And to have you on the show has really sort of I thought it was an April Fool's joke when I reached out and you said you said yes.
I appreciate it.
And I called Louis and I said he said yes. So, it's really wonderful having you on the show. And
I love it. I'm doing a lot. To tell you the truth, I'm honored. I'm honored because
the honor's ours.
Even
in the battle.
I mean, I don't want to know. I don't want to sound cocky, but pretty much I do one podcast a week. A lot of people. I don't know if a lot of people need to fill it up and they call me and I'm a good talker, or because they really like my stories. But both. Either way, I love to be in contact with all different people that are calling me, like you guys that you grew up watching me. You are young guys, and you are young guys, and you grew up watching me when you were kids. People that are a little bit younger than me, but in the 40s or 50s, that they've been watching me forever, and also like the nostalgia and the different podcasts. I approach the podcast in a different way. But it's wonderful. It's wonderful to be called up, and it's wonderful to feel appreciated, and it's wonderful when you hear the appreciation from the audience, because that's pretty much what I'm doing all my life, and I dedicate my life to that, and I thank God, and like I said, I thank God I feel blessed.
Yeah. Well, all we
I was
can
going to say,
is,
Fernando,
yeah.
I was going to
Go ahead,
say
Louis.
that in this house, we grew up watching you. And some of the shows that you just mentioned right now, Fuera de Serie with Sofia Vergara, I remember that they used to give that show Wednesdays around like 10:30, I think, in our
Yeah,
time,
10
Pacific
o'clock.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
I remember I used to go do whatever I had to do that day, and I remember I wanted to be there on time because that was the only way for us to see the world, because you guys travel to many
That's right.
countries, and that was pretty amazing. So that was one of my favorite shows. My late father,
Mine
actually,
too. Mine too.
yeah, my late father also used to watch República Deportiva. I mean, that
That
was like every Sunday,
every Sunday.
because were you specifically, it was the Mexican League, right? That's what the
Yeah, the
Deportiva
Mexican
was
League,
mainly.
and I was also bringing that segment that it is well remembered by everybody because back when we started República Deportiva in 1999, we didn't have all the platforms that we have right now on the streaming, and also so many people were watching our show to catch a glimpse of a couple of goals from Europe. So it was the famous segment of football, Europa, and they were putting it with the echo, and that was a fan segment, and Fuera de Serie in mid-90s, every Wednesday, the people were waiting. Like I said, people were waiting like crazy. It was probably the best time of my life because it was my two passions. I graduated. I studied theater. I always say that I'm not a journalist. I didn't study communications. I'm an actor first. I studied theater, and I graduated also in tourism. So when I combined those two passions and traveling around the world, it was absolutely fantastic. And then I was able to also travel a lot with all my sports years, with events around the world. And you see, like I said, before at the beginning of the podcast, there are some strategies that sometimes the network, you don't understand what happened. But when we did the Fuera de Serie, you just mentioned something that it's very interesting. You say you were the only window for us to see the world, and we were waiting for your show because not everybody got the chance to go 1 week to China, the next week to Australia, next week in Paris, and next week in Buenos Aires. And before that, in the Spanish TV, it was not a traveling show at all. We didn't have any traveling show. We did it for 4 years. We finished that, and then they didn't have another traveling show. And I said, how come if it was so well received for people, and they didn't do it? So sometimes, I say, what? They probably know something that I don't know, or maybe my ideas are not exactly the ones that they go with the same thing that happened with Fox. How come they didn't have a fan point of view in this year? Especially would it be great because I will be the only Argentinian with the Fox cast that it will be crazy enough to make great content. Being an Argentinian world champion for Fox, and you don't understand how it didn't happen, and the same thing happened, in every network, in every company, probably. They say, I don't understand this strategy. How come they didn't have any other traveling show in Univision since it was such a huge success? And and I pitched in many ideas, and it didn't come. So it's kind of a the thing of the different companies and different ideas and different bosses or people that are making decisions. Sometimes you think that you have the great idea and it's not going on, even though you proved that it was good.
But it might have been a blessing in disguise. Was it kept you?
I was going to say,
in the footy world, right?
Right. Hopefully you'll get a chance to do the Fox again World Cup when they play in the US. Canada and Mexico. Hopefully that'll be the best case scenario.
I will be 66. I will be 66, and hopefully I will be around the US, bringing back my 10th World Cup as a broadcaster. That would be fantastic.
That'd be a dream come true. We hope it happens.
So do you think Messi will be playing the World Cup, the next World Cup?
That was, like I said, that was my prediction. That and like I said, that was before the World Cup, before Qatar. My prediction is that he will be in the list, in the 26-man roster list of Argentina for 2026.
He'll be there. You'll be there
somehow. Yeah. How many minutes he will play? I don't know.
We don't know.
Hopefully, a lot of the players that also he will have a great cast again, like he did this year.
Oh yeah,
there are
amazing
many
cast.
young players in Argentina. Yeah, there are many young players in Argentina that they might, help him also to get his second World Cup.
Yeah, and
In
then,
a row, back to
and,
back.
and then and then he'll come to LAFC. Yeah.
Well, you never know, man.
We'll never know. Oh, El Presidente, thank you so much for being on the show. It means it's
Honor.
I cannot tell you, it's an absolute honor to have you on here. And
My
we
pleasure.
hope that you join again. And again, if you come to LA, you have our number. We'd be happy to watch an LAFC game with you.
I will actually
bring the horn. Don't forget to bring the horn.
No. I can bring the vuvuzela.
You bring the horn.
I can bring my cards also. When
I'll bring my mustache with me. There you go.
Yeah, I'm sure that this year we might be able to see each other because I'm also broadcasting. I'm the color commentator for tech ball tournaments, the famous sports with a table that is curved.
Yeah,
this one.
Yep, yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm the color.
Headers. Yeah,
I'm the color commentator in English for ESPN. Doing that, we have 12 tournaments this year, and pretty much over 70% of the tournaments are in LA. So our next tournament is here in Miami, but probably the following one is going to be in LA. So I give you a call, guys.
Yeah, let us know. I'd love to see one of those games as well.
Please follow me. Yeah. Follow me in my social media.
Yeah, how can we
Fiore
find
Official in Instagram, Fer Fiore, and Fernando Fiore in my Twitter, and you will be able to see everything I'm going on. I'm working with a streaming platform with Fubo, which have a lot of sports now. So also having a great time with them, and appreciate everybody who's trusting me for bringing all the messages in terms of commercial wise or personal wise, and in the communication business. Yeah. Thank you, guys. God bless you.
Bunch.
Thank you, Fernando.
Thanks, Fernando. Thank you. Gracias. Louis, that was awesome.
Amazing.
That was awesome. Right?
Yeah. Wow.
What a guy. What a great guy. Again, hopping on the show, meeting with us, two ridiculous soccer stupids. But it's he was very generous with his time, and it was great having him on the show. We don't even have time. It was so long, and we don't have time that Liverpool and Arsenal play this weekend. We can get a chance to talk about that. The 2-2 to win. Or tie, I guess.
Freaking a win for me.
Yeah, and then waiting for you. Manchester City destroying Southampton 4-1. Villarreal. No, how do you pronounce it?
Villarreal.
No.
Villarreal.
Not destroying, but coming back from a 2-goal deficit and winning the game 3-2, right? And then you got Barcelona tying with Girona. Is it Girona? Did I get that right?
Girona.
I gotta
close enough, Joe. Close enough.
I gotta brush up on my soccer there.
You're Spanish, more like you're Spanish.
What did I say? I said soccer, right? I need more coffee. It's too early. We did this too early in the morning. I can't talk this early. I've only had like a sip of coffee. But I got my morning voice. Good morning, Louis. Dude, are you ever going to take that jersey off after meeting Fiore? Is this just going to be weird?
This is staying. Actually, this is not a jersey anymore. It's tattoo. It's tattooing my body now. This is part of me now. Yeah, it's in my skin now. So,
well, that's the same with this hat. I'm gonna wear this hat forever. If the folks who are just listening, it's my Soccer podcast cap. Walking around, so people go, "What the hell is that on your head? Take it off." My podcast, man. But anyway, this pod's been long enough, but I hope you enjoyed the interview with El Presidente Fernando Fiore. And again, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Spotify, we're on Stitcher, we are on YouTube, wherever you find your favorite podcasts, we are there. So subscribe to all of them. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram. And we're brand spanking new to Twitter. So, subscribe, follow us if you want to hear our silly episodes. And look at these mugs. Look at this mug. Wow, that is a mug.
An interesting mug.
This is quite a mug.
Interesting.
This is a mug. This is a mug you want to accidentally break in the sink. Oh yeah, I guess I gotta throw that away. You don't want this collection in your mug collection. But anyway, we're everywhere. So subscribe, tune in. We're gonna be around. Louis, don't cry. But the episode's over. And I'll see you in the next one.
It's a stretch, and it's in! Oh, it's